Following a video exploring nostalgic Welsh cartoons, this video explores cartoons from the United Kingdom overall, with a specific focus on 90s releases. Being alphabetical, the list begins with I'll Be the Fifth Musketeer. This collaborative British, Canadian and French effort, adapted from Alexander Dumas' novel The Three Musketeers, introduces a hyper-competent protagonist as well as pleasantly stylized scenery, rapid, versatile humour, gleeful energy, and enthusiastic voice performances, all the while remaining faithful to the spirit of the source material despite its clear uniqueness in a balance that would please even Alexander Dumas himself. I assume, but he'll never voice his opinions on the show. One of the few flaws is that the exaggerated character designs are somewhat distracting and create a more juvenile tone than the writing itself. And of course, a children's show is no place for a juvenile tone, at least not according to the creators of The Animals of Farthing Wood. Following the destruction of their home in some wood which I can't remember the name of, a group of animals search for a fabled nature reserve. An animated television adaptation of Colin Dan's book series was definitely a novel idea, enlivened by rich, painterly backgrounds, distinctive characterization, and a mature, dark, violent tone, which is presented tastefully and purposefully, and blemished only by some dull colorization. This ambitious, captivating piece of media serves as suitable viewing for those long, rainy, seemingly endless days. You know those days, the big days. The following show, however, serves as suitable viewing on the big nights. The adventures of two strong, brave, dim-witted knights who are also big, oh, that's why it's called that, encounter conflict in a seemingly medieval setting. Genuinely inventive humour, a capable voice cast, and vivid imagination usually outweigh the slight disappointment of the art style, which is retroactively comparable to Peppa Pig, unlike the art style of Captain Star. Oh, what a seamless transition that was, until I pointed out how seamless it was and then ruined the flow. A rocket ship crew, previously tasked with venture into new planets, naming them after their captain, and selling things to the inhabitants, await new orders from a dry planet in this creative, textured series rife with lively, colourful artwork, impeccably observed sci-fi and socially driven satire, and suitable voice performances from the likes of Richard E. Grant and Ade Edmondson. The first episode is slightly marred by the admittedly melodious, carefully crafted techno music occasionally overpowering the dialogue. But after this point, and even before this point, the show in my opinion proves itself to be a vastly underrated piece of British animation, recommended equally to fans of adult animated series as it is to its primary younger target audience, since this is possibly one of the most forgotten titles on the list, and at any rate is much less remembered than Dennis and Gnasher. Alternatively known as Dennis the Menace, and based on the Beano comic strips, the series follows the chaotic antics of the titular character, Dennis, offering elaborate slapstick, gleeful absurdity, relatable, simple situations escalating into exciting, understandable storylines. For example, I didn't like having a haircut as a child, that's clearly changed, but I wasn't hunted down by Slasher Brown the barber and every other barber in the world in an event that was covered on the news more than once or twice. The show's one flaw is that Dennis's behaviour is somewhat overly unpleasant on occasion. However, this is ultimately remedied by certain redeeming qualities being shown, as well as the fact that his antics are so extreme, children would find it nigh impossible to actually imitate his behaviour. They'd find it even more impossible to imitate the behaviour of anyone in the Dreamstone. The struggle between good and evil, or more specifically dreams and nightmares, is represented by a battle to claim ownership of a precious stone. Through the naive protagonist Rufus, the wise dream maker, and the vicious Zordrak in this high fantasy piece, blessed with attractive character design, gripping story structure, expansive world building, and measured humour, but somewhat cursed with a fairly generic premise. This is arguably a forgivable flaw, given that this is a show aimed at children. as with every show on this list, including Dr. Zitbag's Transylvania Pet Shop. A mad scientist creates and sells monster pets from a castle with his vampiric assistants. Finally, they made a show based on my life, except more realistic. The endlessly engaging, consistent horror-inspired theme, direct pun-based or faintly surrealist humour, and the unique premise eclipse the slight annoyance of the admittedly tuneful but occasionally overbearing incidental music. This title is particularly recommended to children or nostalgic animation appreciating adults with a taste for classic supernatural tropes or macabre elements. The same applies to Phantom Cat. A swashbuckling 17th century feline hero awakens in the modern age and fights crime alongside a private detective. Cosgrove Hall's production is immediately influenced by Batman the Animated Series and Gargoyles, faithfully retaining the dark themes, sophisticated storytelling, and tastefully theatrical tone of those series while incorporating self-aware comedy, and as a result, despite some slightly superfluous characters, this is possibly my favourite title on this list, followed closely by Captain Star, Dr. Zitbag, and the other 5. As a result, this is an appropriate series on which to conclude the video. For any viewers interested in British animation of the past, which I imagine is most viewers who are hearing this statement, or British TV of the past in general, several other videos exploring these topics are linked in the cards above and in the upcoming end screen. All shows are available on YouTube. Dennis and Gnasher and Animals of Farthing Wood are available with an Amazon Prime membership in the UK, and Phantom Cat is available with a BritBox subscription. Thanks for watching, and if I don't see you next time, I'll assume you've been trapped in a painting by a spell and won't awaken for centuries. When you do awaken though, you should definitely sue the creators of Phantom Cat for stealing your story before it had even happened to you.
If you've been dropped in and he's there in a minute, that's faithful Albert's way. He's got no pretension, just lots of inventions that always save the day. Hooray for Albert! Albert! He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer. He's sharp, he's cool, he rides on a mule. He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer.